In the first video, we went through the process of getting the old brake pads off the car. Now we're going to go ahead and put these new brake pads on. First thing I need to do is to go ahead and clean up these old parts. I'm going to start with this pin right here. I'm going to use my Dremel with a special attachment to just kind of get this rust off of there and also clean this part up. So here's my Dremel. I'm just going to go ahead and clean this up. Okay, so I've cleaned this up and just sprayed it again. Just resprayed it. It wasn't perfect in the first place. So we're going to put these two back together again. And again, it goes together like this. Don't forget to push this back. And once you're pushing it back, you can push it back with your hand. But just be mindful that this hole right here is going to squirt out fluid. Okay? And make sure these tensioners go under. I'm going to go under this bracket right here. Now you can see that indented spot. Let's go right in this spot right here. I had to put the camera down for this part, but this was a struggle getting it back in because these little spring tensioners right here have to be put back in their exact location. And then you have to press this down and push it that way. So now that it's in, I'm going to go ahead and put the brake pads in, as well as the brackets and pins. So I loaded the first brake pad in, loaded it from the bottom, pushed it in. Do the same thing for the other one. This one's going to take a little bit of persuasion. Okay, just a little bit of grease. Okay, you got to make sure that these are lined up correctly. Okay, once you get it lined up, I'm going to go ahead and use a soft blow hammer and just tap it in. So I want to also make sure that the hole is facing up. See that? The hole is facing up, so when it comes through, I'll have access to it. Alright? If you don't, just reposition it and put it in. Same thing with this other one. Now make sure that hole is facing up while you put it in. Okay, so the bracket is in. These went back very, very smoothly. And we have access to both holes so that we could put our cotter pin back in. And on this side, everything's nicely lined up. So we're going to go ahead and put this back on the car. But we may have to pry this space open a little bit more. But that's okay. This can go back just a little bit more. These two holes have to be lined up. After getting the pins in, and I put the sensor back in, this bracket goes back here. Once I put this on, then I'm going to go ahead and put the pins back in. Now with the new brake pads installed and the caliper bolted back to the car, there is one final step. We have to bleed the system. So on this side, I took out the pin so that you could see we have the fluid dripping into a container, and I'm waiting for any bubbles that might pop up. There go the bubble. Once I have a constant stream of fluid coming out, then I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the pin and tighten it down. I didn't necessarily have to take the pin totally out, but I took it out just for demonstration purposes so that you could see clearly what's happening. There's a little hole on top of this pin right here that allows the fluid to come out once it's loose enough. Tighten this up so it stops drifting, and then we'll go ahead and clean up the area, and then we'll move on to the next side. Join me in the next video. Thanks for watching.